Hey guys, Lawrence here, and welcome back to another round of the comment section. For those of you who might not be aware what the comment section is, it's a little mini-series that I used to have on the main channel where I would take questions from the comment section, where else, and basically answer them in a relatively brief manner. Last week I started a new series on this channel because I feel like really I get a chance to see more varied questions. And you've been really delivering in spades. Greetings, Lawrence. I'm a big fan. Congrats on becoming engaged to Philly. Aw, thanks, dude. If you ever have the opportunity to work for Funimation, which anime would you prefer to work on? Oh, well, okay, that's a very big nut to crack. Honestly, working with Funimation, that ain't gonna happen. Obvious reasons. I mean, look at me, I'm in England. But if I could actually pick any kind of anime that I'd like to work on, I mean, obviously I'd like to work on Super, but again, that's too obvious. But I think one that I really like is How Not to Summon a Demon Lord. I would love to be involved in that somewhere as like Emile Berger. He is just such a goofy character, and that's the kind of character I love playing. I used to like do a fan dub like ages ago. It's how Vegeta 3986 and I met. And it was called Chibi Vampire Karin, and there was a guy called Winner Sinclair. And he just spoke like this as an excellent vampire hunter. It's a lot of fun. Those goofy characters are a blast to play. But I like playing like serious characters or nice characters. The goofy characters win out. What is your actual opinion on Yamcha as a character? Honestly, I feel really sorry for Yamcha. He's a very unfortunate character. He starts off as this really cool desert bandit type character, and that's cool in and of itself, but then he has a really major flaw, and honestly, that kind of makes him human. There is some kind of reality behind that character, and that's what I love. He's just got a very big crux, and that is girls, and he manages to conquer that. He kind of actually goes really far the other way, especially with Mr. Sabbath making him into a bit of a surfer dude. And yet, Yamcha kind of ties with Krillin being the weakling human character, but honestly, people do love Yamcha because at least he tries. How did you begin Naruto Abridged, and how did you meet the guys from TFS? That has to be like a video in of itself, because that just takes a long time. But in terms of Naruto Abridged, at least, Vegeta 3986 and I, we met on a fan dub project that I did, Chibi Vampire Karin, I mentioned earlier, and he voiced the main guy. We had a bit of a chemistry, and then we decided to do a blooper special, and that went down really well. It was a lot of funny, we gelled well. Then we decided, let's do an abridged series together, and that was Naruto. Hey Masako, I was wondering, since you're not doing as many reviews as before, would you ever think about reviewing the Dragon Ball Super manga chapter? Because I'd like to hear your opinion on it, and how do you feel about it being a bit different from the anime? It's really different in some ways, especially with the Tournament of Power, how everyone just blitzed through and like Kale takes out half the crew. And the reason why I've been resisting it for a long time is because, you know, it's a lot of maintenance, and now Shueisha has just shown their true colors and said, we're gonna, you know, take them down. Geekdom had to deal with all of that like a couple of months ago. I don't want to go through that with my channel because my channel is really important. It's how I pay the bills, so I'm not going to want to rock the boat in that regard. And I prefer to actually have the physical copy instead of, you know, reading it digitally. Will there ever be more of the Parter manga? I'm very curious to see how he goes Super Saiyan. Oh boy. Okay, well, short version, well, there was a guy doing like a 1.5 chapter manga, and that kind of fell through because he just didn't have the time to do it anymore. It was a voluntary thing. He wanted to do it because he loved the character, but it kind of just fell through. He gave me what he had, so I'll do a video on this channel explaining what happened in greater detail. Do you like Marvel by any chance? And if you do, who is your favorite superhero? It's always been Iron Man, even back in the 90s when I found out what Marvel was. And everyone will think, oh, you only like Iron Man because he's now in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. No, I loved Iron Man from the so 90s. That wave of Marvel animated series, it was so hokey, but I loved it. Do you watch Attack on Titan? And if so, what are your thoughts on it? Philly and I watched the first season of Attack on Titan really avidly. It was so good. But unfortunately, I fell out of Attack on Titan a long time after Season 1 came out because it was going to take forever to come out for Season 2. And then the whole thing with Frozen came out. I did an article about it on my old Anaphile channel, and I was really talking about the fact that it had been oversaturated at this point. Like, there was so much merch, everybody was talking about it. I was getting exhausted with Attack on Titan. You just think, oh, okay, I'm done. It had been oversaturated and not to mention overmarketed. We did watch season 2, so we didn't just drop it all together. Hello, Lawrence. First, thank you for all you do. Well, you're very much welcome, sir. Also, my question is, what software do you use to record your voice acting? Audacity is my main tool because it's free, the noise reduction is fantastic, and it's so easy to use. Have you ever considered doing a podcast? There have been so many attempts of me doing a podcast. I tried doing one for Bad Fan Fiction. I did one with the Anime Counterpoint with HBI2K and Kaiser. There's the R&R report. I'm not that great at keeping a schedule with podcasts, but you know, I really like the thought of doing one because I do listen to podcasts whenever I travel anywhere. Masako, would you ever consider doing a collab with another Dragon Ball YouTuber? Well, technically, I've talked with other Dragon Ball creators on YouTube with the Dragon Ball Conversation line of kind of audio videos type things. Those were a lot of fun. I really got to meet people like Jaxblade and get to talk to them in more detail. There was Mozilla Vulpix, there was of course Geekdom, Quaman, Rhyme Style, all those different people. I would quite like to do more collaborations. It's just a case of finding time because most of the time it's just time zones kind of make it a little bit difficult, but I am working together with a bunch of UK Dragon Ball creators on a convention that is coming up next year called Saiyacon. It's very, very early in the works, but I will be announcing more and more of that either on the main channel or on this channel. How did you think up Dragon Ball R&R? I thought Dragon Ball Super really neglected the kids in that show, and they were meant to be there to be the relatable demographic for any kids watching. So I thought, well, okay, in about chapter 6 or part 6, 7 of the What If Raditz Turned Good series, I realized, well, the kids won't really get to do much when we get into Super and the end of Z. No, I mean, the end of Z was their peak. And then Super, they don't really do anything. So I thought, well, okay, let's do a poll. Let's say, would you guys like a spin-off involving the kids? It got like over 85% of them saying yes. I thought, well, alright then. Seeing as I've been enjoying the Fallout 76 PC beta so far, it would be awesome to run into you in Appalachia. I would love to be able to play Fallout 76. I'm supposed to be getting some kind of review code or something like that. I'm not too sure about the logistics of it. But if I don't, then I'll just buy it. But I think I totally dig Fallout 76 because the world is beautiful, I like the concept, but I don't like the idea of people just kind of camping you and then stealing stuff. But then again, that is like the way of the wasteland. You know, that just stands to reason. That's just the way it is, so you just gotta deal with it. If you had one subtle superpower, what would it be? Example, I'd want to be able to know where things and people are in an instant. Truth be told, I do have a very subtle superpower already, and that is the ability to find parking spaces anywhere. My grandfather Caesar, and yeah, okay, insert your Caesar jokes here, he was able to find a parking space all of the time, no matter what. And even if I can't find one, I will have the tenacity to wait. One time when I was going to university, I waited for 45 minutes, and most of the time if I can find one, or just look for places where people aren't going, like for example in our local supermarket, people turn right, but left, sometimes you can go and get spaces, and I just go, thank you, Caesar. I have parking gods on my side. Who is best girl? The best girl out there is your best girl. Hey Lawrence, if you got the opportunity to voice any superhero comic book character, who would you want to voice and why? Also, feel free to do either hero or villain, or both if you'd like. I think Quicksilver would always be a really good one to voice, because, you know, I like that peppy attitude. In terms of a villain, like to try Loki. Loki's a lot of fun. Surprise. Any Digimon you like? Oh yeah, Gomamon. Gomamon's the best. Will you go back to start doing video game or movie reviews? Funny you should mention that. I was dabbling with the idea with Philly that we have Cineworld Unlimited cards, and we do go to the movies quite a lot. So maybe on the trip back home, we discuss the movie and what we think of it. They don't have to be necessarily long, but it's our initial impressions after we've seen the movie. We're in the car talking about it while I'm driving home. There is a difference. Do let me know whether you'd be interested to see that, by the way. Do you play any instruments? If yes, will you play it on a video? I don't currently play any instruments, no, and I've not really played any for like over 20 years. I did dabble in piano, I did dabble in clarinet and keyboard, but I didn't really have that musicality or patience at the time. I'd love to try it out now, and honestly, one of my things I really wanted to do on the main channel, and I think I can do here, is to learn how to play the theremin. The theremin is like a, it's kind of like a radar or like kind of a field-based thing. If you ever heard it, it's got that woo. You kind of control it with your hands and the pitch and the tone. I've not seen many people try and recreate themes using a theremin. I would love to do that. And if I did, I would love to make it a video. The trouble is that theremins are really, really expensive. What is your best anime live adaptation that you've watched? I've not really watched that many live action ones, but thankfully with Netflix, I've been able to kind of dabble into it. The Death Note live action thing, oh, very flawed, but it did have some good qualities. The FMA one, it's good, it's alright. I'm not the biggest Full Metal Alchemist enthusiast, but, you know, I understood it. But the Bleach one that came out recently, that wasn't too bad. I like the pacing of it, and the fact that they got the majority of the dub cast in there, that was a really good idea. And lastly, what made you go with the name MasakoX? There are two parts to that story. First off, Masako comes from Masako Nozawa, the voice of Goku in the Japanese dub, because when I found out Masako Nozawa voiced it in the Japanese dub, when I discovered that dub, I was in awe about the range and the power of that voice. Oh my god, that was amazing. I had to put up with years of people going, "It's not a girl's name," and I just go, yes. It's just a nom de plume. And the X part was, on AOL Instant Messenger, which instantly signifies how old I am, Masako was taken, so I couldn't have that. So I just put an X at the end of it, and I got MasakoX. So that was my AOL screen name. So there we have it, 20 questions answered, and they were all from you. If you'd like to have your question answered by me, leave it down in the comments below, and I will sift through them, have a nice little kind of range of them, and I will get to it round about next week. And I think we're starting to get a bit of a schedule here, because yesterday we had Shed Talks, today we have the comment section, and then the rest of the week is kind of random different things that I can think of. I hope you're well, I hope you have a good day, and once again, one is glad to be of service.